and that is an automatic 5 stars. In fact, it got better. Work smarter, not harder. What the f? This year is insane for fantasy new releases. I don't know if you've heard of a little show called Off Campus. Let me just come back and say that normally. Oh, I've just realized I missed one. Guys, tell me why this is so hard when you take a break like from filming and then you come back and you're just like, why would this be hard? I'm just talking to the camera. Like, I talk to myself all the time. This shouldn't be that hard. And then just tell me why I can't express myself. Okay, hi, welcome back. It has been a hot minute since I picked up the camera and recorded, and I'm so sorry. I don't know why. I honestly just feel like this year YouTube and me, we've been taking a break. I just haven't felt that inspired, and there's a lot going on in my personal life, but I'm gonna just take what I can get, because today I felt really inspired to pick up the camera and film a little mid-year book tag. So let's just chat about the books I've been reading in 2026 so far. I know that to you, that seems like that was super cool and like flowed really well, but I'm not gonna lie, I've been sitting here for half an hour just trying to intro that, and so like for it to just go so well, like you think that was easy, like you think I was just like off the cuff sat down. No, clear the air right now, that's not how it went. Let's just move on from that, okay, because we're finally on a roll. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump straight into the questions. Oh, by the way, these questions I got from Larry's video of her mid-year book tag, which she posted not that long ago. And then there are a couple that I couldn't answer, so I took a couple of questions from last year's mid-year book tag. So yeah, that's where the questions are from. And I will also put them in my description below. Cool. Okay, let's do this. I've got my chai. I got my question. So number 1 is best book you've read so far in 2026. So I pulled this one out because I actually, for the first time in my life, annotated a book. It was that good, and that is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I am a huge Emily Henry fan, and I have been making my way through her backlist. I am actually, funnily enough, reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which is the last book that I hadn't read yet of hers, and then I will be completely up to date. But I read this earlier this year. I think it was like January, around the same time that the movie came out, and 5 stars, just literally 5 stars. But are we surprised? No. Emily Henry's writing just speaks to me. I cannot explain how many times I cried during this book. Happy tears, sad tears, gut-wrenching, and this is like a happy book, really, if you think about it. Like, it's got a happy ending and all that. It's just like the way she describes the emotions that a human goes through, like the full spectrum of human emotions, and the way that they can like pop up in day-to-day life and the way they can be expressed. Like, it's like she is living inside my head and my house and my room, and she's just like recording me at all times and then writing about me. That's like how much I see myself in her writing and in her books. So yeah, this was no exception, and probably by far this is my favorite book of hers to date. Absolutely easiest 5 stars I've ever given. I will be recommending this to everyone, and it's not that big, like it's a tiny little thing. But Alex and Puppy, I feel that I could see myself in Alex and Puppy. I was both of them combined. I was there. That is definitely one of the best books I've read so far this year. I actually don't feel, I tried to see if I had any other 5-star reads for this year, and I don't think I have yet, which is crazy. I've read 45 books and 1 5-star? Like, surely not. Actually, that's not true. I decided to reread Fourth Wing this year, and that is an automatic 5 stars. In fact, it got better. It just got better. Now having like read all the books in the series and going back to read the first one again, knowing all the Easter eggs and knowing everything, so good, so good. Like 6 stars, god tier. I'm obsessed with that series. It's like that series has crack in it for me. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Best read so far, You and Me on Vacation, and a reread of Fourth Wing, because of course. Okay, the worst book I've read so far in 2026. Also, by the way, I did not bring a stack of these books. Like, majority of them I read on my Kindle. To be honest, I've been a very Kindle girl this year. Not a whole lot of physical books, which is different for me. I feel like last year was a very physical book reading year, or at least a little bit more of an even split, and this year has just been very Kindle. I just couldn't be bothered grabbing the stack and then putting them back, you know? Work smarter, not harder. So I'm just gonna put the picture up here of the books I'm talking about. But the worst read so far of 2026, guys, is Diabound by Sable Sorensen. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this opinion, but what the f***? Tell me why I feel like I was completely gaslit by the entire internet into expecting this book to be a 5-star read, or like at least a very high quality werewolf romantasy. Why did you guys tell me it was so good? How to explain why I disliked it? The female main character was so insufferable that I just wanted to stick pins in my eyes the entire time. She was horrible. How anybody could stomach her and like not like I was putting the book down at least every 5 minutes, at least once a chapter. I had to literally like put the book down and just be like, this is just a book. It's not real. She's not real. She's not a real person. Nobody would actually act that way because, oh my God, what is her stupid name? Marin. Kindly go f*** yourself. I actually just could not stand her so much. If I had read that book through absolutely any other character's point of view, I think I would have had so much of a better time. Anybody else's point of view. She was awful. How do you, like, to convey this? Like, I have such rage boiling in my blood for this book and this particular character. Like, possibly will go down in history right up there with Nesta as one of the worst like characters. She made Nesta tolerable. She made Nesta tolerable. I can't believe that. So this character at the beginning of the series, and she's like comes from poverty, taking care of her sister and her mum who's not well, and then she gets thrust into, of course, you know, this world where she's competing with all these other like elite children, blah blah blah, and they've got money. She's staying in the castle, or at least like a more posh part of it, and the way she is like looking down at everybody, being like, ugh, these are awful people because they come from money and they're greedy and they're entitled and they don't give a fuck about anybody from my town where I'm from, and we're suffering and we can barely feed ourselves, and okay. And I would have been able to cope with that. I would have been like, yeah, fair enough. They're dodgy, greedy, blah, blah, blah. But then pair that with her insufferable victim complex and expectation that everything should be handed to her at all times without any, I need to chill. I can't even convey this. Everything is everybody else's fault. She blames everybody else. Nothing is possibly her fault. There's no responsibility. There's no accountability. She is perfect. Everybody else sucks. And she expects everything to get handed to her on a silver platter. Literally, tell me how that is not the most hypocritical thing in a character ever. To be literally judging so harshly people you don't know, looking down your nose at them because they come from money, and then simultaneously feel like you shouldn't have to work for any of the trials that you're doing. You shouldn't have to work for the connection with your Diabound. You should just be expected, you're just expected that you'll be handed information, advantages, resources, everything. Make that make sense. I genuinely really enjoyed the plot with the wolves. I really loved the aspect of dire wolves and like bonding with them. Like, I so badly wanted to like this book. I really did, but she made it impossible. And I just don't see enough people talking about it. Like, why is no one talking about it? Is everyone just like overlooking? Because how do you overlook, like, when you're in her head the whole time? How do you overlook that? How do you look past her horrible personality? I just don't understand. Okay, so I feel like I'm being a hater, and please, I know this is just my opinion, okay? But not for me. Not for me. I couldn't stand her. Okay, the next question is the best sequel I've read so far in 2026. So, honestly was surprised at this one. It was a little bit tricky. So many sequels coming out this year that are on my list, like so many new releases. This year is insane for fantasy new releases, but they haven't come out yet, or I haven't read them yet. So I'm only going with what I have read so far, and that's got to be Rites of the Starling by Devoney Perry, which is the sequel to Shield of Sparrows. Incredible new series. Like, if you haven't heard of this series, incredible. Like, really, really well done. Really like blends, like it's a romantasy, but it's got like Easter eggs. I don't know, I just really thoroughly enjoyed this one. It kind of reminded me of a mix between like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, because it's got like these mythical creatures in it. It's got like, it's just really, for me as like a really big fantasy reader and romantasy reader, it's got like all my favorite elements. So I really enjoyed Rites of the Starling. The plot twist, so good. Like so good. So really highly recommend that series. If you're already fans of like ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, anything Sarah J Maas, anything like that. If you're a romantasy lover and you haven't read that series yet, get onto it. Okay, a reread I'm excited for. I feel like because I've already read Fourth Wing, obviously, because of how many books are expected to come out this year in fantasy, I am probably going to end up rereading some of the prequels before the books come out. So I don't know which ones I'm most excited for. Probably ACOTAR. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole of ACOTAR though, because I only just reread the first two books like last year, like very end of last year. I reread ACOTAR and ACOMAF, so maybe I'll reread like ACOWAR and Silver Flames. I don't know, I just feel like no matter what, I will be able to just jump into that new book and be immediately in love, and everything will just kind of like come back to me. Maybe I'll reread like The Wolf King and The Night Prince, or at least The Night Prince, because I'm so excited for The Wolf Queen to come out. Do you know what, actually? So many of my friends are finally reading Throne of Glass after me begging them to pick up the series. They are finally reading it this year, and I have a feeling I am going to get serious FOMO. So I have a feeling I'm probably going to reread, maybe not the entire series, but like I wouldn't put it past me. But maybe I'll jump in at like Heir of Fire and pick it up from there and reread some of Throne of Glass, because honestly I could definitely see myself doing that. So yeah, maybe Throne of Glass actually. Okay, number 5, a new release I haven't read yet, but I want to. Well, like I've said, there are so many books coming out this year. Okay, on my list of books I want to read for 2026, here are all the ones that haven't come out yet. There is, from crime, there is One of Us is Guilty by Steve Kavanagh. There is Light Wielder by Rachel Snyder, which just came out and is our book club pick for this month. Burn of the Everflame, which is the final book in the Penn Cole series. I don't know what the series is called. What is the series called? Hang on. Kindred's Curse Saga, or the Kindred's Curse series. The Empyrean novella, which is coming out in September, which obviously we don't know what it's about. So freaking excited for that. ACOTAR 6 coming out October. The third Fae and Alchemy book from Kelly Hart, which is the Quicksilver series. The Wolf Queen coming out in November, which is the third and final book in the Wolf King trilogy. I don't know what that's called either. And then the second book in the Evermore trilogy by Julie Soto comes out in December. I think that's all the books that are expected to come out, but they are absolutely all on my list. Like, I don't think I could wait for any of them. So very excited for those. Okay, number 6 is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. That's just the same. It's like, I guess a new release that's out that I haven't read yet is Light Wielder, which is on my radar. And then everything I just mentioned is like what I'm anticipating for the second half of the year. So I'm just going to skip that. Move on. Number 7. Okay, my biggest surprise this year. When I say surprise, I don't know, like, I just think I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. But Metal Slinger, the first book in that series, let me find out what the series is called. It's the Fire and Metal. What is with that? Fey and Alchemy, Fire and Metal. Anyway, it's the first book in that series. I obviously heard lots of good things about it, and there was a cliffhanger, everyone was raving about it, and so I picked it for our first book club book this year, January. And I don't know whether it was the fact that we were reading it together. We went away to Phillip Island and we read the book while we were there, and it was just like bouncing off of each other's reactions was so much fun. But it was so good. Like, the more I think about that, the more I wonder whether that should be another 5-star read for me, because I didn't rate it 5 stars at the time, but I had such a good time. The cliffhanger got us so good, obviously, hence why I'm so excited to get to Lightwielder. Once again, we are taking our books to Phillip Island to read them, so I'm like holding out for that weekend. That was a really, really pleasant surprise for me this year. Her writing is really clever and we loved it. Okay, number 8 is a favorite new author, either debut author or new to you. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to be repetitive, so I'm just going to say Devoney Perry and Rachel Snyder. Devoney Perry is the author of the Shield of Sparrows series, and Rachel Snyder is the author of the Metal Slinger series. I definitely think I have gotten a really, really great grasp of their writing styles, and I love them both. So I think that no matter what, I'm definitely going to continue with this series, but I also feel like now I'm way more inclined to pick up new books that they write. Okay, next question, number 9, is your newest fictional crush? Well, this is quite easy. I don't know if you've heard of a little show called Off Campus. Before the Off Campus series aired on Amazon in May, I read the first 3 books in the series, which if you've read them, you'll know is The Deal, The Mistake, and The Score. And that is Garrett and Hannah's books, Logan and Grace, and Dean and Ali. And I am a Dean De Laurentiis. From the books, I am such, and the show, oh my god, it is like one of the greatest conflicts of my brain to be like, am I a Garrett girl or am I a Dean girl? But I have to say, like, especially from the books, I am a Dean De Laurentiis girl all the way. Like, oh my gosh, call D, like call D. Definitely Dean. And really, really random, but Mesa from Metal Slinger, obsessed with him. Obsessed with him. I don't know, like, I have such like probably unrealistic, like delusional hopes that Mesa is the love interest in the Metals, like in the Fire and Metal series. Like, I don't know how or why. I'm sure he's not. Like, guys, I'm getting so caught up over this in my own head. I am obsessed with him, and even if he just remains the goofy, fun, but super smart, super awesome side character like Riddick, I don't care. I'm obsessed with him. Team Mesa. Yeah, so let me just come back and say that normally. So, new crush, Dean De Laurentiis and Mesa. Okay, let's move on. Okay, a book that's made you cry this year. Well, I cry quite easily at books, to be honest. I cry at everything, really. I'm a bit of a crier, so there's quite a few here. I cried whilst reading The Score by Elle Kennedy, which is Dean and Ali's book. I cried, and if you've read it, you'll know why I cried and what part that was in. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to spoil. I cried rereading Fourth Wing. I cried during Iron Flame because of the ending, and then I cried during Onyx Storm like a bunch of times because of course I did. So yeah, there's that. But 2 other books that have made me cry is actually Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Sobbing at the end of that book for reasons unknown, but not really, because I freaking loved Rocky so much, and it was like, it was touch and go at the end, and I was just like, oh my heart. And then I cried because it was over, and then I wasn't gonna be able to read about my favorite alien anymore. So yeah, definitely that one. And then I know I'm not finished reading it. I know this is maybe cheating, but reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and Are We Surprised? She has had me sobbing already. I'm like, what chapter am I? I'm up to chapter 10, and I'm already sobbing over this book. Many tears were shed. Many tears. So yeah, but I cry over everything. Okay, number 11. I don't think I said, but there's 13 questions. So we're nearly at the end. Okay, number 11 is a book that made you happy. And that book is Fever Dream by Elsie Silver, which is her latest release. And it's part of a whole new series called, I think, the Emerald Lake series. Again, I'll put the books up here, but that made me so happy unexpectedly. Like, I just needed a palate cleanser. I'm kind of going through like a break from fantasy, and I've been reaching for like a bunch of romance books. I just had to restart the video, but yeah, I've been really called to romance lately and taking a bit of a break from fantasy, and I've just been reaching for like small town romance, dark romance, like contemporary romance, sports romance, like you name it. I'm just like in a bit of a romance vibe right now. So I picked up Fever Dream and I was like, why is this so fun? Like, this is so fun. Not only do you get like cameo characters from Chestnut Springs, which it's just such a comfort series now for me. Like, I wasn't obsessed with every book in the series, but it's just such a comforting, like, found family in that series that is just so wholesome. So it was so cool to see like a little crossover between the series and some of the characters, and it was just the funnest concept. I haven't seen a romance book do that, and I just like thought it was so fun. So basically, one of the characters, he is a cowboy, he's a bull rider, and he has his own family has a ranch and they're struggling financially. So he gets offered a lot of money to do the equivalent of Farmer Wants a Wife, like a dating show. He gets offered even more money if they let him host it at his family's ranch, and he speaks to his family. They decide like they're gonna do it, so he's doing it. And then the love interest, the girl love interest, she works on set for the production of the show, and it happens to be his biggest rival, like his biggest enemy in the bull riding competition. It's his rival's little sister. And it's so good. It's just so funny. The banter is so good. It's so fun and upbeat. And I just like had such a good time reading that and laughing so much out loud at all of their jokes. And like, it was so good and so well done. So I really, really enjoyed that book. It made me so happy to read that. Okay, second last is a 5-star prediction for the rest of the year. And unfortunately, we are going back to the new releases that are coming out, because I think that I am so, at this point, so like entirely obsessed with ACOTAR and the characters of ACOTAR that I can't see myself not rating that 5-star. Because also of how long it's been since I have been around those characters, and like they are just such a comfort for me. Like, I just can't see myself rating it any less. Mark my words now. Like, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked if I don't rate that 5 stars. So I think I'm gonna go with ACOTAR 6. I also just have this feeling that like the Wolf Queen is going to be amazing. I don't know why, but I just like, I am so excited for that book. Like, if it's done well, oh my gosh, I feel like that could be a 5-star as well. I'm not gonna say that about the Empyrean novella because it's a novella, and I also think that it's gonna hurt me. I don't know what to expect. I don't know, I'm scared, so I don't feel like I can do that one. Yeah, I feel like those two I'm pretty confident on. Who knows? Things could very well surprise me. Okay, and finally, last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Okay, so I feel like aside from all the new releases we've already discussed, the other books I have on my list are Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I'm pretty obviously confident I'm gonna finish that. The others is I want to finish Steve Kavanagh's Backlist this year. Like, he's got a new release coming out in July, and that is part of the Eddie Flynn series. But I want to like catch up, because I honestly still haven't finished reading all the books in the Eddie Flynn series, and I am obsessed and love it. I have not really been that attracted to crime this year. Like, I don't know why, but it just hasn't really tickled my fancy. But I really would love to say that I've read all of the Eddie Flynn series in the series so far and kind of feel like I'm up to date, similar with Emily Henry. So that's definitely something I want to read. And then there's a couple of young adults that I had on my list for 2026 that I haven't read yet, and that is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, which I believe now actually there are 2 books out. It's like a duology, The Rose Bargain. So I feel like probably those 2 together would be great. Hopefully I can get to that and get to all of those. Oh, I've just realized I missed one. Guild by Raven Kennedy. I'm not committing to the whole series, so don't even, but it would be awesome if I could also start that series this year, because I have heard very good things. So yeah, I feel like that is everything that I want to read by the end of the year, and we'll see what else kind of comes up on that book, because honestly it's been an average of like minimum 6 books a month, which is wild, guys. Like if you had told me that that's the average amount of books I'd be reading in a month even 3 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, oh, and I have no job and I have like an extra 10 hours every day. Like, anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying to watch my mid-year book tag, and hopefully you got some recommendations out of those. If there's any books that I have absolutely got to get onto because of all of the readings that I do, like, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Why can I never say hello and goodbye? It's like the intro and the outro are the worst parts. Like I can in the middle, just saying hello and saying goodbye, the worst parts, because I just don't want to say goodbye, but I have to go. I've got things to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.